Boop, 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 boop. Woo! All right. Back at it again. You know, it's been a while since I've streamed. It's been so long that all of my recent videos on Twitch are gone. That kind of sucks. But it's okay because I did save all those videos, so I can archive my old stuff. But hello! I am back. It's your boy Gene Roto. And he's gonna play some Ratchet and Clank on PS2. But yo, you know what sucks? Here, let me change screens really quick. Hello. Hi. You know what sucks? There is no category for Ratchet and Clank on PS2. There's only one, and it's the one that I had to use. It's Ratchet and Clank for PS4. Why? That sucks. I can't, like, if you're trying to find Ratchet and Clank, you're not gonna find it because it's not there. It's just Ratchet and Clank for PS4. And I don't even want to touch that game. I didn't like it. I played it, and I was immediately disappointed by it. And then I saw all the commentary videos on about it, and it's like, yeah, nope, this isn't a good game. It's like a half-assed reimagining of this game, which is the much better version. And that's honestly kind of sad when like the first product that you make is better than everything else that comes after it. But anyway, yeah, we're going to play some Ratchet and Clank on PS2. So I'm going to try to play as much as I can. How I'm going to be doing it is I'm going to play this game first. And then once I do it, I'm going to try to see if I can actually complete it. Like do all the objectives, do all the skill points and stuff like that. And then hopefully once I can get through that, I would like to practice a little bit more. So maybe I can go ahead and I can try to speedrun it. Now, for Ratchet and Clank speedrunning, there are like I think on speedrunning.com, there's different categories. There's like different ways that you can actually like find out like what game's being played, like the runs and everything. The game has different versions. This is the PS2 version that I'm playing on an actual PS2. In fact, let me actually switch over here so you guys can see. Yeah, so I'm playing this on my actual PS2. And there is a PS3 version to an HD version that was released. And then of course you have the different versions like the regions. Well, from what I've seen, it's mostly the American and Japanese ones that get speedrun, and predominantly the one that has like I think for the any percent, the one that has the highest like the current world record for that one was played on a PS3 off an SSD, which is kind of impressive, but not really on PS2. I'm pretty sure the majority, like even the top 10, it's just PS3. So if you're gonna run the game and you're not like if your intention is to get a world record, like that's not the game to run, I guess. You have to run it on PS3, but you can always like go through platforms and stuff, and you can change which platform you want to run for. And PS2 looks all right. Like honestly, like this is the version that I have, and I mean, yeah, I do have a copy of the game on PS3, and I could play it, but technically it's off a disc, so I would be at a slight disadvantage if I were to do that. But like I said, I have no experience speedrunning. I've seen a couple of speedruns, but the exception of one, all of them were for PS3. So it might be kind of cool just to do a PS3, I'm sorry, a PS2 speedrun, which might be kind of interesting. But with that said, we're already here on this screen. We're gonna go ahead and play Ratchet and Clank. So I have a save here, a new save. I'm gonna overwrite that. I was literally just on the second planet, which is like the planet that you go past the first like a tutorial planet. This one right here, Veldin. Woo! I do apologize. I have my model, and I have my webcam on my main monitor, but I'm using to like watch the actual gameplay, and it doesn't look nice. Like I don't like it. I don't know about you, but like you know when I look at VTubers and I watch VTubing content and stuff, one of my pet peeves, and I think I've mentioned this before, one of my pet peeves is like when the VTuber is like staring right at you. The VTuber is staring at you. Like I'm staring at you, but I'm not really staring at you, but I'm kind of staring at you. And it's that suspension of disbelief that's like, okay, okay. They're not, but they are, and I don't like it. It's weird, and I didn't like messing with my camera and stuff. I'm using VC Face, and I didn't like how it was coming out. So this is just how I'm gonna do it. So whatever. It sucks, but I'm just gonna have to go and do it this way, unfortunately. Ooh, wow! This room. So angry time. I have to play with my fans off because I haven't been able to dial in the settings for this Blue Yeti. You think it'd be easy because it's a USB mic, and no, it picks up every single background noise. I have to fix some of it, and then once you like lower it, you mess with your gain, you mess with like the Windows settings and stuff, and then you get, you know, all your software settings, and it gets too quiet. And I'm like, whoa. And then I added some stuff like a noise suppression on Streamlabs, and it just made my S's and stuff sound terrible. Like, I hated it. Like, I did not like how it looks and or how it sounds. Like, it's just so bad. So I just gotta. I'm gonna deal with it for now. Like, I tweeted this, or I had mentioned it to some people. I accidentally dropped my mic. I don't know if maybe it's because of that. I actually went back and I looked at some of my VODs that I recorded. And I noticed, like, I was like convinced yesterday. It might have been because I was tired yesterday, because that's when I was doing my troubleshooting last night. And I was looking at the VODs and I'm like, wow, the audio just sounds like the audio sounds better. But then hearing it this morning, and I'm like, well, no, it sounds a little clearer. Like, I'll give it that. But there's not enough bass to it. Like, it sounds very tinny almost, but it sounds clearer than what I was getting. Like, for here, for some reason, it was sounding a little muffled. Now, granted, there was two differences, like, in settings. One was like no settings, nothing that I had done. And I was also using regular OBS before for those previous streams. This is actually my first stream using Streamlabs OBS. And honestly, I think this, for the purposes that I'm using it for, I think it's better. But for example, if I'm just like, my goal is to like record gameplay video, or just like to do simple stuff like on desktop, regular OBS is fine. And in some ways it's a little bit better. But I like the integration with Streamlabs OBS. Also, I like all the alert boxes and stuff that you can use by default. So if somebody just wants to pick up and start streaming, like, this is a no-brainer. It's like you gotta use Streamlabs. I don't know how the delay sounds like, the audio delay, because I'm pretty sure there's a delay in audio. I'm actually gonna lower my just a little bit. I just wanted it enough so that I can hear what's happening. Okay, well, it's whatever. I know the game is sounding fine on stream. I tested it. It should be fine. It shouldn't be louder than me. I fixed it. I was able to dial that in. Boop, 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 boop. And I'm just looking off to the side just to see my Streamlabs is okay. And yeah, my Streamlabs looks fine. This is important. You want to get every single bolt here. So there must have been, in Ratchet and Clank, if you know the Ratchet and Clank lore, if you played any of the games, this game takes place in the Solana Galaxy, I think. And then in the second game, you go to the Bogon Galaxy. So, you know, it explains why there's different worlds and stuff like that. Well, bolts, you get a lot. There's like, what is it, inflation, I guess, or something, because there's a lot of bolts that you collect in 2. But obviously, you know, you get more bolts, but, you know, stuff costs more. Whereas here, I think I'm barely at 1,000 or something. Yeah, I'm barely at 1,200. And it feels like nothing. You spend less, but you feel like there's you have to collect more of it. Like, I think the Rhino. How much is the Rhino? I think a Rhino is like, not 1 million, but maybe 500,000 bolts. It's like 500,000. And it takes forever to get those bolts. Like, there's no way of farming bolts. Like, it's very hard. Like, you're not gonna get a Rhino, to be honest. You won't get the Rhino, the most powerful weapon in the game. You won't get it on your first playthrough. if you just do it like run the game normally. Now there is a trick, a hack, an exploit that I know about since like the beginning because I really wanted the Rhino when I played this game the first time. No, sorry. And that is later in the game because there's a lot of like gameplay elements to Ratchet and Clank to all the games. This version has some dogfighting. You dogfight in space. You there's like aerial battles over planets. But then there's also hoverboard racing. So it's kind of like this world's like skateboarding and stuff. And you get to do that.
You're quite handy with your wrench.
Ratchet and Clank, they first meet, first talk to each other.
Currently, I'm in search of.
Oh, you know what I forgot to do? I forgot to turn on subtitles.
Do you know where I'm
I can't hear what's happening. I mean, I know what's going on because I played this game so many times, but I don't know what's happening.
What's with all this save the solar system stuff anyway?
I don't know. I don't know. But it's okay.
Hello, citizens.
And this is Chairman Drek, who was played by Paul Giamatti in the Ratchet and Clank movie that nobody remembers. I think it was on Netflix. And as much of a big Ratchet and Clank fan as I am, didn't bother watching it. Didn't want to watch it. But I wouldn't lie when I tell you that I was kind of hyped when the movie came out. It's like, oh wow, it's movie's gonna come out. Nice, like they're making a Ratchet and Clank movie, and that kind of sucked. And that movie ended up being the basis for the new video game. But hey, we're getting a new Ratchet and Clank game, which gameplay video is out. I don't know when it's coming out. I don't have a PS5, so to be honest, as much as I love Ratchet and Clank, I really couldn't care less. I don't have a PS5. There's probably not a chance I'm gonna get a PS5. Like, I don't care. But hey, at least I can still fall back on these games, so I've got that going for me. And how am I playing this, by the way? So I am. Thank you for asking. Thank you for asking. I'm using a RetroTink 2X Pro, and basically what this thing is, it's a line doubler or a denoiser. So it takes your older video games that output at low resolutions, like 240p, a general term, 240p resolution, or 480i. With PS2, it's all 480i. And it takes it, deinterlaces it, or line doubles it to 480p. So I'm playing the game in 480p right now, so it's not too impressive, but most TVs, if not all of them, they'll scale for 480p like really well. So this game works on my TV, on my my Samsung monitor that I'm using, and then it works on my Elgato. It wasn't working earlier. I had like a 4K webcam thing, a 4K webcam to USB, which is just like HDMI to USB, like 3.0. That's what I was using. I was playing Mega Man Legends like a month ago, and that's what I was using to play it because it didn't want to work on my Elgato. But hey, I just plugged it into my Elgato like yesterday, just like for shits and giggles, because this thing wasn't working yesterday when I was trying to troubleshoot and test, because I actually wanted to stream yesterday night, and that wasn't working. But hey, now it's working on my Elgato, so it could just be that it wasn't working with PlayStation 1 games, which does make sense. I was trying to play it off of PlayStation 1. I guess PlayStation 1 doesn't play well with the RetroTink. I found that out, but this is on PS2. So, at least it works with PS2, which makes sense. It's 480i, but I don't know. I will test out PS1 because I would like to play Spider-Man. Spider-Man on the PlayStation. And I don't think my copy is that good. So I think how I'm going to play it is I might try to find another copy locally. I know there was one locally in one of my local shops. I think they wanted $30 for it, and I saw it and I'm like, damn, $30? Like, should I spend $30 on this game? And then I looked up on eBay and I'm like, yeah, well, you know what? You know, $30 doesn't seem that bad. It doesn't seem that bad. I mean, I doubt the game's still there, but I mean, it wouldn't hurt to check. I might go later. As an excuse to go get some Taco Bell or something. Get a crunch wrap. Maybe. So yeah, while these cutscenes are playing out, because I think there's still another one. Yeah, right here. There's an unskippable cutscene. I was playing this earlier. I can just talk a little bit here. But actually, after this bit, it was a good bit.
Where are you?
He's got his little angry face. Um, yeah, I talk a little bit over here. So I got this setup, which I think fits my character really nicely, and lets people know that I'm into technology and I can use software pretty well, which perfectly explains what I can do. IRL. I've got little windows with my webcam on it. My Logitech 720p Logitech, and then I got a chat box which is gonna stay empty most of the time, but that's okay. I don't know if I don't know. I just had it set up and I know it works. Granted, there's not a lot of activity going on, so I think what I might do is I'll switch it out with something else. That way there's not like a lot of like dead space. I could stack like my webcam on top of something, which I'm gonna have to do whenever I play something that's like 16:9. But for now, for 4:3 stuff like this, it works out well for me. It looks pretty nice. Oh dang! You know, I just realized I never set up my my other screens. I just have 3 scenes right now. I have that loading screen, the beginning of the opening one. I've got my chatting one, and then I've got this transition, the actual gameplay and everything. I have to make a couple more of them. But hey, it's pretty good. I have my second monitor set up, and I have it vertical. And what's awesome is I'm using a stand for my monitors, like one of those weighted ones, because it's sitting on top of my desk. Up, 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 up. I can't breathe. Can't breathe. I can't breathe. Okay. Oh. Okay, let's try this again. Forgot how to swim. Well, sorry. I know how to swim. I forgot that there's air. Yeah, when you play Ratchet and Clank, any other Ratchet and Clank game, and you have to swim, I think the lore and everything it's set up. Basically, you get something in this game that you used for like the rest of the games. It's just like an oxygen breathing mask thing, so you don't have to worry about holding your breath the entire time. But here in this early bits, you still got to. Like I said, every bolt counts, so I'm just trying to grab every single bolt that I see. Oh, sorry. Come on, buddy. Come on. Wet, wet, wet. No, those are not these enemies. There's an enemy in the game later that sounds like a duck. They're like. All right. This is where the fun begins. It's weird. I was what? Ugh. Woo. I don't know what that was. I was watching a YouTube video the other day because I was watching some more Ratchet and Clank stuff. That's why I picked up Ratchet and Clank and wanted to stream it, because I got some Ratchet and Clank videos recommended to me on YouTube. And it was gaming, a British gamer, British gaming man. Oh no, I forgot who he was. Super awesome, like YouTuber and stuff. Made some really cool things. Uh, 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 going on here? My PS2 overheating. You guys can see that, right? Huh, that's weird. Here, let me. It's not gonna like this. Plug this and plug this back in really quick. Oh boy. This was happening to. Yeah, this PS2 is actually really. Huh. It's so weird. Why is this happening? Weird. The heck? Okay, well. Okay, so I guess. Okay, so the screen was turning blue, and I thought maybe it was my PS2, but I just jumped into the ammo selling guy, the Gadgerbot. Looks normal. was weird. That was a weird glitch. That was weird. Well, hey, that fixed it. Alright. So, you know what? I need to know. I need to know why, what that guy was named. Clank. Ooh. Preview, I'm sorry. It's gonna be really quick. Very fast, I promise. I promise. The Gaming Brit Show. There we go. That's the man. That's our guy. That's our man. That's our boy. Him. Yeah. So he was doing he did a video on Ratchet and Clank 2. This is known as Ratchet and Clank 2 in other regions, but it's Going Commando here. And he was doing a video on it, and basically the sequel to this game, basically after Ratchet and Clank, like pretty much this game, this is how he described it. This game is a 3D platformer. The 3D platformer that has power-ups, and your power-ups just happen to be weapons. And I'm like, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, these weapons, like, you use them, but I'm like, you don't have to. You can use your wrench if you really want to the entire run. But weapons help. Like, there's speed ups, there's different ones, and like, it's pretty nice. But a gold bolt. There we go. Yeah, I knew that was a gold bolt there. We'll use these at the end when we do New Game Plus. But yeah, it's a 3D platformer with power-ups that happen to be your weapons. And that perfectly describes Ratchet and Clank 1. But starting with Ratchet and Clank 2, the game turns into a third-person shooter. Because now the weapons are the emphasis. They're not necessarily power-ups. They're basically what you have to use to defeat your enemies the entire time. That's the emphasis on that. They level up. You have to collect so many of them. And there's less platforming. There's less of an emphasis platforming. So like that explains it all. And I think another thing too, another example that he gave with that was because here you can't strafe early on. You can only strafe after Clank gets a power up. He gets his thrusters. And it's kind of weird. It's kind of like a primitive like when you have to activate them, you have to hit a couple buttons, and then you can strafe, and you can use your weapons, but because you're technically gliding, it doesn't like it doesn't work. Whereas Ratchet and Clank 2, by then, because like the emphasis is more like gun-based combat, your strafing is just, you know, your L1, your L1, R2, and it works great. Like you strafe like for the majority of the game, especially later on in the game, because then you get like hordes of enemies, and like that's important. Boom. Thank you. There was a box at the bottom, but I don't want to go down here. Oh, and this is weird. I'm pretty sure this is the material for your boots in the game. It looks like it. Oh shit. Your magma boots. Magna boots. Yeah, magna boots? Magna boots. Magna boot. Just booting around town. Oh yeah. Oh yes. The best character in the series. Who was voiced by the janitor from Scrubs. I did not know that. I didn't know he did video game voices. And I guess he did in the early 2000s. Although I don't think he voices this character anymore. Because he shows up in the Future series on PS3. He's not voiced by Scrubs guy no more, fortunately. Somebody else now. Plumber's crack. That's a very funny joke. There's a lot of puns. Yeah, 500 bolts. He's running. I like his facial expressions. Oh god. Was Ratchet and Clank the reason I became a furry? Could be. Oh. It's the same voice actor for Skid McMarks as well.
Down, I can't concentrate. Oh, we've been hit. An unexpected detour. When we land, I'll see if I can scare up an exhibition for you.
We're not gonna live that long.
Kid, let's hamstring.
Eject! Eject! Did you see that guy on the left?
I like how Skid McMarks was the one that was flying it.
Doubt it. He's a
Wouldn't it make more sense he had somebody else and he's a hoverboarder? Like, why would he be flying a why would he be flying a ship?
look so freaked out.
That don't make no sense.
Gadgetron info
Okay.
give you coordinates for new planets.
Well, I'm here.
Infobot for planet Iridium.
One cool thing, or I guess not cool thing, but just something of note. You can see the outside of the whole area from here. The PS3 can render that. It's all low res, but you know it adds more depth to the game and everything. You can see out these windows, and you can see all the areas that you're going to be able to explore later on. But in the Vita version, the port of like the Mega Collection, the game, for some reason, like, well, actually no, not for some reason. It's probably like the big reason is you can't. Oh, can I not? Can I not do that? Come on, can I not? Oh my god. I'm 100% positive there's like a bolt on this other side. I don't know how to access it, but I'm 100% positive there's a bolt in there. Why would that gap be there? I've never. Okay, well, whatever. Oh, you know what? No, I don't have that weapon, but I think it's a disguise weapon. The dummy. The dummy ratchet that you get later on. I think that can push you in. Anyway, where was I going with the Vita thing? Oh yeah. So it's basically blacked out. It's all blue and you can't see outside, and that makes sense because a lot of the HD collections that were on Vita ran poorly. The Ratchet and Clank collection is no exception, but it does. I think out of all of them, it does play the best. Wait, I was already there. Okay. The Ratchet and Clank version plays the best. Unfortunately, there's a lot of you know, bugs and glitches here and there, and technically the only physical version of the game that was ever released in English, let me say that, in English, was the PAL version, and that one had a game-breaking bug for Ratchet and Clank 2, where you play the game, and then once you have to go somewhere for like a mandatory ship upgrade, there's like a high chance that depending on what you do, the game will crash. And it's essentially game breaking because I don't think you can get past it. I'm pretty sure there's a workaround. Actually, no. The workaround is don't buy the physical version. You have to get the digital one. I guess it's not an issue on the digital one. Or I should say, it's not an issue that you're going to run into on that one as frequent. It's kind of like Donkey Kong 64. I think there was like a memory issue, and the only, like, it would crash the game after like a while, like after playing the game. So like to mitigate it, they used the extra RAM that you get from the expansion pack, the N64 expansion pack. So technically it makes it one of the few games that requires it, but it doesn't do anything to like fix the game or like make the game pretty or anything like that. It's just so that glitch, the memory error thing, doesn't happen as frequently, because it'll still happen. So it must be a nightmare for people trying to speedrun it. Like, you're just trying to get through it and it just crashes your game. But you technically don't need it to play the game. I think the only other two games on the N64 that need the expansion pack, the RAM expansion pack at the top of my head, is I think Majora's Mask does need it. And which one? Perfect Dark. Perfect Dark needs it too. I don't think you don't need it to play some of the single player stuff. Multiplayer. I think you do. No, never mind. I think you do need it for multiplayer. But for some other stuff, you don't need it. All right. Well, if I had the mouse, Robo Mouse helmet, I can get a gold bolt here, but I don't, so. Yeah, let's take a second to actually look up at the scenery. Let's look at the sky really quick. There's a lot of ships flying about. This whole city is on. Oh, this pueblo is so small. It's in utter chaos. But hey, I like the effort that they put in Ratchet and Clank 1. These worlds really feel like they're being like inhabited. There's like so much stuff that's going on. It's something that you take for granted in the later games. And then for like new games, it's like it's a given. But so many companies can mess it up. Honestly, like Ratchet and Clank on PS4. It could have been a much better game if they tried to do its own thing. Instead, it basically is a retelling of this game, but using the movie as a basis, and that's pretty much what it is. It's essentially a movie tie-in game. Funny, I think who was it? I think it was the Gaming Brit show too. His video on Ratchet and Clank on PS4. It was I think he brought up the fact that they use the cutscenes from the they use clips from the movie as cutscenes in the Ratchet and Clank PS4 game. It's like, what? I haven't seen a game company do that since Toy Story 2 on the PlayStation 1. And I think as soon as I knew he was gonna say something along those lines, but the first game I think of isn't Toy Story 2. There's a couple of games, but for me, I think it's The Emperor's New Groove, which is a game I really want to play on here. I want to replay it. The Emperor's New Groove. I know that one specifically because I played that game. I played the demo of it growing up, and then I finally got the game. And then I had to rebuy the game, which got lost in the mail, but it got returned to me, so I have it now. But that one, it's weird, because when they use and old games like that, when they take clips from movies, you'd expect them to just lift the clips and just play everything as is. But they don't. They redub the actors. They replace them. I don't know why, because I assume if you're like getting paid for a movie role, the company can do whatever they want with that stuff. They don't have to pay you anything. Like, that's probably not in the contract. Like, oh, okay, you're using my clip of my voice in this PlayStation 1 video game. Okay, you gotta pay me extra. I don't know. That doesn't make sense to me. It does not make sense to me. But alas, I'm pretty sure that's probably why they redubbed actors. So I think for The Emperor's New Groove, they replaced Pacho with somebody else. And then they also replaced David Spade with JP Manu. I think that's how you say his name. It's a weird French name. And I know him from Phil from the Future, or Phil of the Future, as the Caveman. But he's done a lot of stuff for Disney. He's done a lot of like shows, TV stuff, and everything in general. And I know recently he was in a very small part. I don't even think he said anything, but he was an actor in that one movie with, I think the Help? No, not The Help. What am I thinking? It's a movie with the guy from Breaking Bad, the lawyer. Why am I brain farting with this? I literally saw the movie the other day. But yeah, he was there. He's literally just a small cameo. But he's a very distinct face. For everything that he's ever been in, he's bald. He shaves his head. So it's like, okay, it's probably him. And yeah, it was him. But he didn't say anything at all. But I'm like, yeah, he looks like it. He's a very distinct person. A very distinct character actor.
We could tell him about this invasion.
If we had a ship.
A ship?
Wait, so you're not going to hurt me? Literally, his head reminds me of a pickle.
You can count on us, sir.
Yeah, your cheerfulness.
Shipliness.
I like Ratchet, like, just because he's like this version of Ratchet is just like a laid back like surfer guy.
Ship is marked with a star.
I think that's the vibes that I'm getting from him. I like it. It's good. It works in this game a lot. I honestly do not know why. I don't know why they chose to recast him. Like the voice actor, I think Mikey Kelly. Something along those lines. We'll see later in the credits. He voices this incarnation of Ratchet, and then he's replaced immediately in the second game. James Arnold Taylor voices him for the rest of the run. Clank stays the same though. bolts. Let's go. Do 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 do. Yeah, as you can see right there, that's where I was trying to get to earlier. I mean, it's meant to be explored, but I didn't explore anything. Do 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 do. Do do dum 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 dum. Alright, so we got 2 planets to choose from. And this is the one thing that I've come to appreciate from Ratchet and Clank 1. You get to explore different planets, right? Once you're done with a level, you hop on to the next one. You have to go into your ship, you go to the next planet, alright? But here, like, there's branching paths. So this is where it starts. So it's like, well, I could go to Outpost X11. I can go to Iridia. Or I can go to Metropolis, Planet Kerwin. I can choose either one, and then once I'm done, I have to go back to the other one, or I can go with this one. And even once I do it, like if I click on it, there's stuff that I'll probably find once I get there. Like, okay, like there's an objective that I have to hit here, but in order to complete another objective, I have to go to a different planet first. Then I have to come back. There's backtracking, and when I was first introduced to Ratchet and Clank, I played Ratchet and Clank 2. I played Going Commando, and that one was completely linear. Like, there's no like backtracking. Like, you can backtrack to do certain stuff, but it's not a requirement. It's optional. Whereas here, like, well, granted, some stuff is still optional, but like it helps, like, I guess more with world building and stuff. It's more encouraged because it's an objective instead of just being something completely optional, if that makes sense. And when I started playing it when I was younger, like still in middle school, and I'm like, that's weird. Like, it should just be linear. And as I started playing the rest of the games, like, it became more and more linear. And I'm like, you know what? Like, there's a certain charm to like being able to just be able to go back. Like, it helps world building. You meet more characters. It makes you feel more connected with the game and like the world that the game is in. So that is unfortunate that the rest of the games choose to be more linear. And by the way, I never realized just when these cutscenes happen, why is Ratchet and Clank so small compared to everybody else? Like, Skid McMarx is just towering over them. And then in Ratchet and Clank 3, the character comes back, and I'm pretty sure he's smaller than, well, not smaller, but well, he's much smaller of a character. I don't know. I don't know. It's just a little strange how certain stuff is done.
One of your boards?
Oh, by the way, I hope my audio quality is good. I did a test, and then I'm like, okay, you know, I think I'm okay with this. I've accepted how my mic is gonna sound, and I didn't bother just like doing a thing. So hopefully my audio's fine. I can see, oh shit, I can see damn it, I can see like how I'm doing. It's like I know I'm loud, but the question is, do I sound okay? So I hope I am. I hope I'm good, and I got the oh shit, where did I shit. Not get hit by anything. We just get these bolts. Michael Bolton. Is that the singer? Is that the name of, oh shit, is that the name of the singer, or is that the guy that Zac Efron plays in High School Musical? Is that his character? Michael Bolton. Insert load letter. Oh, thank you, Best Buy. I will maybe consider buying a TV. Sorry, I got a notification on my phone. Alright. Got 40 left. Oh, yeah. Just turn around. Ah, that's something here. Can I blow this up? Oh, didn't want to do. Yes. Okay. What's in here? Is this a gold bolt? Yeah. Oh, it's kind of weird. This I could see here that they just like slapped on another rock texture on top of it. It's not even like going through the sand, so you can clearly tell it's just something that's like pasted on top of the texture that was already here. Interesting. Very interesting. Shit. Sorry, I normally flip the camera controls, but this time I haven't flipped it, and I just decided to play it this way. And I'm doing it this way because if I'm going to speed run the game, I have to play it with the controls as is. Because if I mess with controls, it's going to like add to the total time. Not that it matters for me, because I mean, I'm going to play the I'm going to try to see if I can speed run any percent this game. This copy, like this version specifically, PS2. And I mean, like, I'm not going for a world record. It's just something that I want to do, you know. But of course, what I want to do first is I'm gonna play the game. I'm gonna beat the game here on stream, and then after I'm done playing it, after I beat it, I will try to do actual like, well, once I'm done, like once I beat it, I'll do my best in New Game Plus, because I don't think I'm gonna do it like right now, like and the actual story mode, but I'll try to actually complete it, get all the gold bolts, get all the gold weapons in this game, and then get all the skill points, which is the precursor to achievements. Like the one thing that I really loved about the Ratchet and Clank game is that they're really good money. Like they're a very good value. By the time I got them, I think it was like what, 2004, 2005. I was like still in elementary or like heading to like middle school. And so by the time I got most of these games, like they were like used. They were all discounted. Like they're the greatest hits versions, like 20 like $30. And like I wouldn't buy games like months at a time, which I know some people I know now I can buy games like left and right. But before, it's like, okay, I'd be lucky with no job. Like, I had to depend on my parents. It's like, okay, mom, dad, can you please get me this game? No? Oh, okay. So I had to be careful whenever I picked my games to make sure that I got something that I can, like, first of all, that I would enjoy, right? I want to enjoy the game that I'm playing, but also I want to go ahead and be able to replay it. Like, I don't want just something that I want to be able to, like, just complete in, like, an hour or two. Ratchet and Clank, even like as I got good and I can actually like sit down and beat the game in a couple hours, there's always stuff to do. Like you can still do New Game Plus where there's like a bolt multiplier, or like the objectives, like your skill points, so you can still like go in, like there's still an incentive to try to like actually beat the game, which is cool. I think I thought it was more fun on Going Commando than it was. It was a little bit more fun on Going Commando than it was on this game specifically that I remember. But I'll do it here. I've never done it before, other than a couple of skill points. Other than a few skill points. Monkey. Return to monkey. Oh, one copy of the game that I don't have anymore. I don't think I have Secret Agent Clank on PS2 anymore. Not that I'd want to play it. It's a pretty shitty copy of the game. But I want to get a copy of... Oh, shit. Oh, God. Yeah, okay. Whew. If I did it a third time, I would have died. Let's actually get this. Pyrocitor. Pyrocitor? Pyrocider. The Pyrocider. Oh, by the way, I forgot to get ammo. Yeah, it's weird how you have to do it in this game. I'm kind of used with like Ratchet and Clank 2, When you buy it, you have, I'm pretty sure once you buy the weapon, it already comes with the ammo. And then when it's time to buy it, you can go to the individual weapons and buy the ammo that you're gonna get. But you could also, there's a button or like an option that lets you just max out your ammo for everything if you can afford it, which most of the time you can. But here you have to go to every weapon individually. But one touch that I do like is every time that you get a new weapon, there's like a little animation that plays. It's a nice touch. And then, I mean, everything is so robotic. You get, I mean, the Gadgetron guy doesn't say much when you're actually playing. Ooh. Yeah, Gadgetron guy doesn't really say much when they're, when you're actually, like, trying to, like, buy your stuff or whatever. But it's a nice touch. It's like, oh, there's, like, an actual representative that's there to, like, you know, help you purchase your things. Like, some in-world stuff that I think is just interesting. But when you get the your Gadgetron or Megatron or whatever, when you're doing that in the second and third games and everything up beyond, there is no guy. Like it's just like robots. Well, actually no, I take it back. In Ratchet and Clank on PS4, bro, that's annoying. There's a guy, you don't see him. It's a voice, the voice of the guy that's like selling you your weapons, the Gadgetron guy. And it's annoying because if you just pass by the Gadgetron, you don't have to like actually like hit your button to like look through the weapons that they have. You just pass him. And when you pass the Gadgetron bot, it's like, oh, would you like to buy this weapon? Like there's always a conversation. That's the thing I have a problem with that game. There's always voices going on. Like a character always has to say something. I'm like, silence is good. Like not everyone has to speak the entire time. Like that's not how you do world building. It helps if you do it right, but I think Ratchet and Clank is just all over the place on PS4. This is why I like the simplicity of the PS2 game. Very simple game that anyone can pick up and play and enjoy. It's a very fun 3D platformer. Ooh. Ooh, speaking of the 3D platforming bit. So I didn't know Insomniac, the company that made this game, they, after Spyro the Dragon, I think they were working on an RPG. They wanted to do a JRPG style game. And they hired a bunch of people from Working Design, which is like a game studio that basically took a lot of JRPGs and localized them. And their localizations are something else. Like, whenever a localization of something happens, it's never going to be one-to-one. Especially if it's something from like, you know, a country like, you know, like JRPGs and stuff. Like Japanese language and like culture and everything is just like, it's different from like Western culture in some regards. So, you know, whenever you have to translate stuff, like there's always going to be stuff that's different. So usually whenever something is bad and like it's like not like the Japanese version at all, like usually people will criticize it. And Working Designs is weird because yes, a lot of stuff was very different, but it kind of works. There's a charm to it. There's like a nice charm to it. And they even did stuff like, I think some RPGs like the Lunar video games, there's like difficulty settings, like some bosses are changed. There's music that's different too. Like it just works. It worked for those games of that era. And basically like a lead from that studio moved to Insomniac. They hired a bunch of them and they were going to try to make their own RPG. But during that time, they just... Wait. What? Oh, that's weird. Oh, that's weird. A little visual glitch. By the time that they finally got on board and everything, like they canceled the RPG and they were working on Ratchet and Clank now, which is, to be honest, like coming from Spyro the Dragon, Ratchet and Clank seems, it pretty much seems more of the same. because it was a Spyro's a 3D platformer. What is Ratchet and Clank? It's a 3D platformer. Like it's just more of the same. So while it ended up working out for them, like seeing something completely different would have been pretty cool too. And to be honest, like Insomniac, they did Ratchet and Clank for a couple of years, and then after Ratchet and Clank, I think what did they do? They did a shoot 'em up game. And then they did, what did they do? They did another game. Off my They no, they still did Ratchet and Clank, except that was on PS3 now. And then they did some stuff on Xbox, and then PS4, and then they did Spider-Man. Like I think Spider-Man and the shooting game are like the things that are like the most different. Because if you think about it, it's like they pretty much all they've done is platformers, which is like weird. Oh, sorry, I gotta crack my knuckles. No, my elbow.
And an agent without a client is like a flea without a dog. Say, you look like an athletic kid. If you can bring back the championship prize from the hoverboard races in Blackwater City,
Streamlabs. Woo! I'm actually surprised. I made it to almost 53 minutes, and I'm still feeling pretty good. I think I'm gonna try to get to a couple more worlds, and then I'll call it quits because I don't have any fans on. Oh, cool. Magna boots. There's some bits here that I can actually explore. Oh, and then going back to what I said earlier about backtracking, like I can come here, I can get a price on this guy. Boom, 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 boom. Thank you. Alright, was that everything here on this world? Yeah. Oh, ring agent, use your swing shot. Yeah, like I said, I still have to do stuff from a different world first. So the slingshot, I have to go to Kerwin for that. I have to go to Metropolis. Ah. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm testing out my model. So, speaking of my model, this is an interesting model that I'm using. I actually had an artist, a modeler. They were gonna make a slightly different version of this one, and I think I'm gonna take that version. Like, 'cause technically, I have I'll have two versions of this model that I have. This is just regular Gene, right? It's using a 3D model base from an artist named. Wait, is this the Kepler one? Yeah, I believe this is the Kepler model from an artist that I follow on Twitter, and it's I remember I met them or saw them on VCat. It was VCat on VR chat that they had the models, and I actually really liked it. They're doing. Oh yeah, let's get some ammo.
So, you gonna buy something or what?
Is that it? But yeah. It was a model by an artist named Gigash. Sorry, that was like just a brain fart. I mean, as a model by Gigash, I think this is the Kepler model that he has. So stock, it's a really cute model, and I really like it. Look at them curves. And thankfully, in the terms of agreement and everything, I can retexture this model. I can do what I want with it as long as I don't monetize it. So, thankfully, that's not something that I'm doing right now. So, if the time ever comes, I have to change models, but that's cool. And this model's really cute. So, I'd still like to do something with it. I know he doesn't accept commissions. I don't think he ever does, or ever will. But say I really want to keep this model. I'm sure. You know, just talk to artists, see what you can do, what can happen. but I definitely want to prepare and maybe get a new 3D model. But these new people that I'm working with, it's a group of like artists, and they're basically taking this model, the texture work that was done here, because this is retextured by Maru on Twitter, and they did a great job. The only problem is for the life of me, I can't get this model to work on VR chat properly. So that's pretty much what the other modelers are doing, or the other people are working on, is to basically make a VR chat version. So hopefully I can get a version that I can use on VR chat soon. Because I mean, I can still use this, but it looks off. It looks weird. I go between this one and like the stock like Kepler version. And then of course this design, Gene. This is designed by.
But we have more pressing issues. We urgently need
Einstein.
those
I cannot. I don't know how to pronounce his at. I'm so sorry, but it's Rich. Somebody that I follow here on Twitter as well. They're actually local. They designed this character that I adopted a while ago, and it wasn't until recently that I finally decided to do something with them. And yeah, they did a really good job with this character. I like the overalls and everything that they have, the buttons, and just like the color scheme and the pattern in it. The only issue is this dog is like, what, this dog? It's this model, this animal is like very canine in appearance, but technically the Kepler model is a cat. So because of that, I've basically just decided, because again, this is an adopt, I get to work on like everything, and so like it's cool thinking about like lore for like a character and stuff. Like, how can I do things? Like, some stuff you have to like think about it and like plan it out, and other stuff it's like, oh yeah, it's just stuff on a whim. So I guess I can talk about some lore for Gene. Gene. He is actually, I am a cat dog. I am both a cat and a dog. And that is a pretty, I guess that's kind of a half-ass explanation for why me, a character that was originally a dog and depicted as a dog for most of this stuff, has a cat body right now. Yeah, he just call him a cat dog. It's a cat dog. But yeah, that works out. And I'm like, yeah, cat dog is pretty cool because it can explain a lot of things. Like, oh, maybe he gets very excited around other people. You know, he gets, oh, maybe he gets mad around other people. Maybe he just ignores other people, like a cat. He can be a cat or a dog, and that's what's great. He can be whatever he wants to be. So it just depends on the situation. And of course, I got flip-floppy ears. I can still and I can do my my different emotes and stuff. I can get my like excited, whoa, like just like surprised eyes. I'm angry. And even be like super excited like this. I'm even blepping, look at that. And of course I can just be confused or sad. So there's a lot of stuff that I can do. And I'm also using VC Face. So VC Face, like, it's this awesome software that's completely free. And despite being completely free, like, it's like a very like you can use, if you have a model that has face the ability for like facial recognition, like if you use an iPhone to do like gestures and stuff, it's compatible. It's compatible with a lot of things. And so I'm very happy because I think it was almost like a month ago or a couple weeks ago, like when when I stopped streaming for a little bit. I was like streaming pretty consistently. Then I kind of stopped, but now I'm trying to stream again. There was somebody on Twitter. Well, I forgot who they were. Someone just completely insignificant. And they were complaining because they wanted a model, but this person that they were gonna commission was like wanting like a couple thousand for their model. Like, getting an original model built from the ground up is not cheap. It is not cheap. It is a luxury, you know? Basically, that was like the point everybody was making, and like they were all clowning on this person because, yeah, like, no one's making you be a VTuber, no one's forcing you to commission somebody for $1,000 or however much like money they were charging. Like a lot to them, I guess. It's like it's a service. There's talented people that are doing this stuff. Like you don't have to. They're not forcing you to like get a commission. You don't have to get it. If you want to stream as a VTuber, there's cheaper ways of going about it if you really want to go down that path. I was able to, like, I got a model that I can use as a base for really cheap. It was like what, 30-40 bucks. I was able to find a for somebody that can retexture my model that was able to work with my budget. You know, there's different people. Like I was looking around. I talked to a bunch of different people on Twitter. I met a couple people that were able to recommend me and like just point me in the right direction, like keywords to look. Like they can be done on a budget. Like this was all done on like less than a couple $100, which sounds like a lot of money, but I didn't spend all that money all at once. Like I have a job. Like I was able to pay for it. And again, you don't have to do it. I basically looked at it as, okay, well, I want to stream and I could do a face cam, but if I do a face cam, well, you know, I have to make sure that my room looks nice, whatever my webcam can see. And then there's also the matter of lighting. I need a good webcam if I'm going to compete with all these people. Whereas I think with VTubing, it's a very unique place that you can be in, because you can have shit hardware, you can have the best hardware ever, and you're all pretty much on the same playing field, because it all looks the same. It all depends on your creativity, like how you can make things like look. Oh shit! Like, let's buy this slingshot. I forgot I'm playing Ratchet and Clank. It all depends on, you know, what you want to do. And also there's different kinds of VTubers that you can be. There's the VTubers that are traditionally like these anime characters, the Hololive, Kizuno Ai, like the ones that really started everything. The annoying orange. Like people joke like, oh yeah, the annoying orange was the first VTuber. But when you think about it, like that thing can work too. Like, oh, you can just take like a PNG of something and just put your face on it, or like put some animation on it so it looks like you're talking. Like that works too. You can be a PNG tuber is what it's called, when you're just like a picture. Like that works. That's completely fine. And there's different kinds. There was this guy that I found on Twitter that I love the concept. I didn't like the execution, but I love the concept of like this one character that's like very, very unique. It was a very, very unique character. It's like I wouldn't imagine this like working as a VTuber, and it kind of does. I didn't really like jive with it like after the execution, but like there's a bunch of different kinds. I think there was one that was like hands. There was one that was like a gun VTuber. Like there's so many different kinds, and it's good. And then here I am, the furry VTuber, which I guess has its own like separate like category. Like, oh, there's a lot of different like, you know, furry VTubers. Since yeah, I would technically consider myself a furry VTuber. I'm Gene. He, him, they pronouns only, please. Anything works, to be honest. And I just want to chill. I want to stream. I want to have fun playing my games, and hopefully I can meet people that want to play with me, and people that want to just want to hang out. You know, make my own community at the end of the day is what I want to do. I don't want to be a like, I don't want to make money off of this. Like, that'd be cool if I can, but like that's obviously not the goal. I just want to chill, have a good time, play with some friends. And my friend is working on his VTuber model. I don't know if he decided to go with, oh shit, I don't know if he decided to go with a actual like rigged model at the end of the day. I think he said he was going to do a 3D model as well, and I don't know if he's actually going to go through with it. If not, he can definitely always go the PNG tuber path, which works great. What was I gonna say? What was I gonna say? Oh, actually, let's take care of this. Let's take care of this chopper guy. It curves. Perfect. Yeah, I think he was gonna get a model. And there's different kinds of models too, like the PNG tuber. There's the 2D VTubers. Those models are like, oh my god, those models like so nice. Like they can be so expressive. and they're all 2D. Like they use its own engine and stuff that like makes everything like look so nice, so fluid, almost like 3D. And they're just, some of them are beautiful. Like all the HoloLive ones are like really nice. But then there was somebody that I was following on Twitter. I don't know if I still have them, but they were this furry VTuber, and oh man, they had such an amazing like 2D model. And then somebody else, they have a nice, like there's just so many like nice 2D models. But those, oh man, those are like I think the hardest ones to do, because it's like you have to work on like multiple layers. It's like 2D Studio or something. Oh shit, dropped my remote. 2D Studio. And you have like so many like different ways of going about making 2D models, but they can get expensive just because of how much like effort and like stuff has to go into it, so they can work with the program, so that they can actually like take your webcam, your like gestures and tracking and stuff, eye tracking. It's a lot more work, and obviously I think those go for like a lot more money too. Like first there's like designing VTuber characters, and then there's like the whole rigging. Like that's a whole different thing too. Like you can easily drop like a couple grand on like a 2D model. And it sucks because a lot of people can do that, and then it's like, well, I went nowhere with that. Like I pretty much went nowhere with that. So, now there was a big boom in VTubing and everything. A lot of VTubers now. Don't be discouraged to try to VTube, but at the same time, don't go into it like trying to make a lot of money, trying to get a lot of followers and like stuff like that. Just stream. Try to stream. Try to get a couple people on it. Just use a picture, like be a PNG tuber, like make your lore and stuff, have a Twitter, have a Discord, and just like try to talk to people. And if you can get a couple people watching, at that point, like go for it. Like make your model, like spend a couple grand on a model here or there, or like don't even do that. Like do what I did, like just spend a couple hundred, not all at once, but like just little by little, and have a little 3D model like this. And I'm very happy with what I have. There's still room for improvement. Like I think if I use something besides VC face, I can have like a different appearance and it can look a little bit better. If I use like Luppet maybe, or if I decide to do if I get like Vive trackers, I can make my own room in like Unity, and I can like walk around kind of. Oh, you know what? I didn't even mention that this would be a good clip to make. I don't know if you can see behind me, but I have I'm in my room right now with like a bunch of pictures. I made I just like half-assed, well not half-assed, like I actually like just, well yeah, I guess not really, like oh okay, maybe I did pass it. I made a little house, like a hut in Minecraft, and then I just put a bunch of pictures behind me. And I forgot to do it right now. I'll probably do it for next stream. Here, let me pause really quick. If I switch over to my chatting screen right here, I don't know if you can tell, but like I have a couple portraits of myself, some pictures that I had. They're behind me. Like I actually put them inside of like the frames, which I thought was kind of I thought was funny. I was trying to see how I can do it in game in actual Minecraft. I don't know if it's like something that I can do. But I can definitely like at least like, you know, just do this. But I forgot to do it over here. So you can see what the actual pictures look like. Here, while I have a second, let me save. Yeah. Goodbye, Al. Thank you for the upgrade.
Try using the Helipack's boost jump feature to climb.
And now I can do the boost.
Press the R1 button to crouch, then jump.
Boost Roda! Hippity hop, hippity hop.
You'll need your new Helipack stretch jump feature
There we go.
to close this gap. While you're running,
Oh shit.
crouch using the R1 button.
Oh, by the way, one thing that I did not mention with the Retro Tank, that's how I'm playing Ratchet Clank right now. We're playing it on the PS2. I'm using the Retro Tank to take the, because I'm playing an S video. Take an S video signal from my PlayStation. That converts it to HDMI, and that's and then after the HDMI, I have a HDMI splitter, So I have one end that's basically it's 1-to-1, lag free. It sends one to my monitor directly, so I'm playing directly off of my monitor, like on its own input with the Retro Tink, and then one of them goes into my Elgato. I know the Elgato splits it, but from my experience, there's a little bit of lag when you do that. So I just use a external splitter that doesn't have any lag. And doing this is pretty good because if you have something that has like a PS4, the HDCP or whatever it's called, like the protection that like blanks out something whenever you play it, like if you're playing like a cutscene or something, that strips it so you can record whatever. Because that thing in place is like what prevents you from streaming certain stuff, like a PS3. Like you can't stream PS3 like directly with HDMI because it has that protection. You need a splitter so that you can stream on it with HDMI, for example. Stuff like that. Boom. Look at those bullets curve. Well, yeah, the Retro Tink is not a scaler. It's the line doubler thing that converts it to HDMI. It's a digital line doubler because a lot of them exist, but they can be analog. Like I think I had an XRGB 1 at some point for like a couple months. Oh, thank God for my stream deck, my mini stream deck. I was able to mute. I have something come up. I wanted to stream for a little bit longer, so I might stream a little bit later, but I think I am done for now. Let me just well, actually, let me see how long this takes. I lost my train. Yeah, Retro Tink, it's a lag free because of how line doubling works and stuff. It's essentially lag free. It doesn't introduce any extra lag. So here, I'm just gonna like speed run this. I'm just gonna finish this as fast as I can. I can play this in and it's lag free. I don't know how much my my monitor, the Samsung monitor, how much lag it has. Like maybe like a frame or like less than that, or even less than a frame. But gotta be careful. Said be careful. This thing I don't know how much lag this thing has. Like a CRT, like a tube TV, that thing like has it's 0 lag. So that's like the base. Like if you play on a CRT directly, it's 0 lag. But if you play the game through TV or anything, there's always gonna be lag. You can minimize it by like turning on game mode and stuff. And some monitors have more lag than others. But to be honest, like unless you had like a PC monitor or something, it's never gonna be 0. Unfortunately, a CRT, if it's a standard definition CRT, that thing will always be 0. But I know some of them can have input lag depending on what model it is. But for the most part, it's always 0. And the Retro Tink has some, but it's like it's so little that it's basically 0. It basically rounds up to 0. Dope, I did it. I'm not gonna skip this cutscene. I'm actually gonna play it. Yep, there's the coordinates to the new planet.
To the pleasantries, Lieutenant. My sources tell me you're behind schedule. You must
How's it
prepare
go?
this planet to be harvested for our new world.
Yes, sir. As you can see, everything is moving along as planned.
I'm counting on you, Lieutenant. And as your former commander can tell you, I don't take disappointment well.
Audio jump.
I won't fail.
Drek is destroying yet another planet.
Yeah, but if that's
Boom,
the kind
boom, boom.
I don't think we have anything to worry about.
You should not
Alright,
underestimate Chairman
I
Drek.
decided
He is
to leave a little
dangerous.
text.
We must
See, that
find
was a
Captain Quark.
chat box.
That lieutenant
I think I'm
doesn't
gonna try to get a
talk.
different chat
Let's
box.
take him out ourselves.
Perhaps
But
we can
I
persuade
think
him.
since it's gonna be empty most of the time, I think it's just appropriate to put something else on. You can even put a PNG if I really want to, or my at. Oh god, it's very, very hot in here now. So even if I didn't have anything happen right now, I think it's too hot. It's too hot to like stay here. I would have to take a break at least. So anyway, guys, switch back here. Boom. Let me turn off my PlayStation. I will be streaming again either later tonight, maybe when I'm back, or some other day. I will keep Twitter posted. I will make a new schedule on my Twitch just to hold myself accountable. But I want to stream again. I want to keep playing Ratchet and Clank. This has actually been pretty fun. And I think I'm gonna do some more like changes to my Streamlabs. I'm gonna review this VOD after it's done. So yeah, if anybody came by, saw something, like, thank you. Maybe watch the VOD later tonight. Like, thankfully, like, you know, check out my Twitter, see what I'm working on, or just come back and say hello. But anyway, thank you so much, everybody. I'm out of here. Bye bye. I don't know what the heck that was. All right, bye bye.